All right. Hey guys, I am so excited for this week. I found a fellow adoptee and he is a male adoptee, which they're my favorite because girls are more willing to come on and talk. So I'm super excited whenever I can find a guy. So his name is Mason. I found him through the Instagram page Adoption, and then he had a reel on there, and I'm excited for him. I'm not going to say anything about it because I want him to share his story. And I found him and he was awesome. And I reached out to him and he said, yes, that he'd be willing to come and share his story. So I'm so excited to learn more about him. I'm excited for you guys to learn more about him. And I will just turn the time over to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Milena. Yeah, my name is Mason Woodward. I am an adoptee. I believe that's how you say it. I've actually never heard that term before. It's kind of funny. But yeah, I grew up in Syracuse, Utah. I was born on December 21st, 1994, and I was adopted on Christmas Eve. And I was brought to my parents in a little Christmas stocking. That was kind of cool. I actually used that in I don't know if you're familiar with. I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ, and I used it in my talk when I went on my mission. So that was kind of a cool moment. But so I grew up there. Right now I'm 27, just turned 27. That's kind of crazy. Just graduated from University of Utah a year and a half ago. Finished off my college football career. That's kind of what I've done my whole life is football. So that was kind of wild to finish that chapter of my life. But I met, let's rewind. So I found out who my birth mother, I found out her name. Her name was Samantha. And I found out her name through the adoption services. We did the adoption through the LDS church. I guess my parents did, Cindy and Roger. And so I guess I couldn't find out my birth parents' names until I was 17. That's kind of the rule. I don't know why that was the rule. Oh, it's closed adoption. That's why. And so, yeah, I found out her name was Samantha Esplin, and I just Googled it, and I was like, oh, she looks like me. She was white, actually, which was kind of funny. And so I found out I found photos of her. I downloaded all these photos. I was super excited. I was like, oh, she looks really sweet. And I saw she was like CrossFit athlete of the week one time, and I'm into CrossFit now. I compete in it. So I was like, wow, she's does fitness and stuff. But I never reached out to her. I just kind of followed her on Facebook and stuff. And then I went on my mission for 2 years. My church mission came back, and then I finally got the guts. We messaged her. I was actually with my girlfriend, my wife now, girlfriend at the time, and we messaged her, and I just told her like, hey, I'm your birth son. Would love to meet up with you. I don't even remember what I said, but she finally replied. It took her, and I don't even remember, it took her like a long time to reply, probably a few months or weeks. But yeah, she finally replied. She lives in Idaho, Pocatello, Idaho. And then my expectations at the time were just like, I just wanted to know what she looked like. Like I was expecting her to be like a drug addict. Like I really didn't care. That was my expectation, at least. I was just like, whatever happens. I just want to see someone that looked like me, And so we finally, she got the guts to message me back. She said, let's meet up. And so we met up in Idaho at her husband's office. And we get there, and for me, it was like, I already had time to kind of process everything for years and years. But for her, it was like one day everything changed, and she had to, because she put all those memories down for years and years, all the memory. Like when I asked her all these questions about like my birth and everything, she was clueless. She was like, oh, I don't really remember, because she just suppressed it for so long. Her parents were very against it. Her parents still don't talk to me, don't want to talk to me, which is fine. That's their thing. But anyway, it was really hard for her. But for me, I was like ecstatic. I was like, hey, what's up, Sam? Like, good to see you, good to meet you. And she was just bawling but yeah, eventually she got through her emotions and stuff. But that was a great experience meeting her. Um, she's super cool. We're really close. She's like an aunt to me. Our relationship, we hang out every now and then. She comes up, or we go down there. They had a cabin in Island Park, so we go there like every year around the fall, which is super fun. But yeah, so I met her, and then once I met her, I actually asked her the name of my birth father. He didn't even know I existed. He's obviously he's Black, African American. He is from West Africa, Liberia, and I don't really know what he was doing here. I guess he was like kind of homeless at the time when they were dating. That was kind of her. She was going through like a wild side and doing whatever, so she didn't really know who he was for sure. But she gave me his name, and I looked him up, and sure enough, it was him. And so I found him also on Google, and he was a professional MMA fighter for a few years. So that's kind of how I found photos of him. Now he coaches and train. I don't really know what he does. I think he's retired. But I met up with him, and that was a good experience meeting him. But he does have some, bipolar, schizophrenic, lots of that kind of stuff just from his abuse. He was abused, as a child and whatnot, and went through a lot of stuff. And so, I don't feel like I can judge him on that just because of that. He didn't have control over that. But yeah, it was great meeting him. He was super happy. He was very emotional. But we don't, as of right now, we don't talk. Maybe in the future I might reach out just to see if there's anything there. But yeah, that was really cool to meet him, see what he looked like. He looks a lot like me. We have the same body type, and that was weird. It was cool to see we're both athletes, which was nice. But yeah, and now right now I have, from what I know, I have, let's see, Sam has 4 children, and then my birth father had, I believe, 2 or 3. So I've got a few half siblings. But yeah, Sam's kids, we're super close. We talk all the time, and they come and hang out and stuff, and that's been awesome to have people. It's weird to see that they look like me, but they're white. So that's kind of, but it's cool. It's cool to be like the oldest sibling in that family. That's really fun. Cause oh yeah, I didn't even talk about my adopted parents, Roger and Cindy. They, because of my parents, I have 2 older sisters, Tasha and Whitley, and they're just amazing. Tash is married. She has 2 kids, Ruby and Scarlett, and then Whitley has one she's actually expecting, and like she's gonna be induced in like 2 days. So that's really exciting. And then I'm married, my wife Noelle. We live in Farmington. She's actually right here. And we just had a baby boy. His name is Americo. The name comes from my great grandfather, who was Italian, and he was just an awesome guy. He's actually the only one in my adopted family that like played football, which is really cool. We have his cleats somewhere. Someone has his cleats, and I need to get him. I don't know how I'm gonna get him, but I'm gonna get him. But so that was a cool connection me and him had, and I just remember when I was younger going over to his house and playing with his cane and stuff. And yeah, I always love that name. We actually call him Mickey for short, which is cool because we love Disney. We always go to Disney. Every year we go to Disneyland. Every New Year's we've been in California at least, which is pretty cool. But yeah, that's the whole story. Hopefully I didn't miss anything.
No, that's awesome. That's great. And I also love, so the way I found you, because I don't know that you shared that, is a reel that he's dancing with his birth mom. And it's actually really cute because he captions it with a lot of different like things, because it like hearing him talk about wanting to find somebody that looks like you, I mean, I can 100% relate to that. And so he was just pointing things out, like how they have like the same feet and how their dimples are the same. And like, it's just crazy when you come across it and you actually find people that look like you. And I think that's funny that you have those other siblings that are white, because it's probably so different that look like you, but
Yeah.
it's so cool at the same time. And I think that's great. If I ask anything that you don't want to answer, please just like say no. But how did
Oh no, you're
your
good.
siblings that were like that are your birth moms, how did they know about you? How did they react when?
Yeah, I forgot to mention that part. So Sam met me first. I went to Idaho. I met her and everything, and then she went home and was just telling me like, should I tell my kids? And I was like, yeah, you should tell your kids. Like, why would you not tell? And obviously she's scared, and I understand. But yeah, she told them, and they were just like, she thought that they were gonna judge her or something, based I don't, whatever. But yeah, were super excited. They were like, when are we gonna meet him? When's he gonna come over? And then yeah, I just came over the next day, and they were super pumped. They were really cool about it. Super nice.
That's awesome. And that's probably a lot of her hesitation, because my story is a little bit the same. I'm an international adoptee from Colombia, and I'm in the middle of 7 kids. So she kept 6 of them and only gave me up for adoption. And so when they found out, I was like, oh, I don't want them to be mad at her. And some of them
Mm,
were, but then as time's gone on, like, we're good. We've got relationships, it's good, and all that kind of stuff. So no, that's amazing. You're probably like super close to me because I'm in Utah as well.
oh
I won't.
wow.
And so when you were saying you were LDS and stuff, I am too. So it's too funny. But
That is funny.
there's another question I was going to ask you. So I think it's very cool that you met your bio dad, because I know with sometimes adoptees it's hit and miss. And I love that you have that boundary with him to where, if I can, I will, and if I won't, and this and that, and those kinds of things. But it's probably also, that's one of the pieces of my puzzle I wish I could fill, is my bio dad, but my birth mom won't give me any information on that right now. So I think that's great that
Mm,
you were able to do that. And I do have another question for you. When you had your son, was it pretty cool to see like some of the similarities that he had of you, like as well? Like, cause he probably like, right?
yeah, yeah. So he's pretty light skinned. So my wife is white. So I guess my son is like a quarter black. But I yeah, I expected him to come out pretty light, because I know I have friends that are mixed like me, and then they married a white girl, and their babies aren't like super dark. So I was like, yeah, he'll probably be. But it's weird still. He looks a lot like me. We have similar facial expressions. Now that he's getting some, I mean, he's only 4.5 months old. So, but he's starting to laugh and smile, and certain things he does looks like me. But I still do, I feel like he looks more like my wife, just kind of in the eyes and stuff. But yeah, he's great. He's so fun.
No, that's awesome. What are some of like the pros of adoption that you love about adoption?
Um, it's kind of, this is gonna sound bad. It's kind of like having divorced parents, but it's just because you get multiple different, you know, Christmases and whatever. Like I get to have my birth mom come in, and we get to spend time with her and presents with her, and that's kind of fun. Um, that's just one. It's a very small pro. That's a dumb one, but um, I I feel like pros in terms of, from like my birth mother's side, she obviously was in a bad place um, when I was given up for adoption. Which is, that was her path and everything, and now she's wonderful. Now she's an amazing person. But I think it's great that we have that option to do that over abortion or anything. Like, if there's ever a choice, or if there's ever a, yeah, if you can ever choose to whether to abort or to give up a baby for adoption, you should definitely give it up for adoption, in my opinion. There's no logical reason to me to yeah, take a baby's life, but that's just totally my opinion. And there's so many blessings that come from it. I've heard negative things that come from it as well. People that get adopted, and then their adopted parents aren't very nice, or they're abusive or whatever, which happens. But I mean, there's abusive parents everywhere in the world. But yeah, I think it's a massive blessing, and it's for me, it's been a huge blessing.
No, and I love that. And I love, you nailed it right on the head, because a lot of people, when they get into like maybe not the best adoptive situations, like there's even kids that are with their biological families that they're still not in the best of situations. So I mean, I just feel
Right.
like it's luck of the draw, unfortunately. And I think adoption's beautiful, and it gives people, like I wouldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't for it. And my birth mom gave me that amazing blessing. So I think that's absolutely wonderful. There's another question I was going to ask you and I totally spaced it doing that. Oh, so you didn't know that adoptee was a term? Did you not know that? Is that what you said at the first?
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I heard. I went through your page and was listening to other interviews, and I heard them say it. And I was like, huh, I didn't know that that's what it's called.
No, I think that's awesome. That's great. What I can't for the life of me. I was trying to hold on to it and I totally spaced it. Let me see if I can think of it. Of what I was going to ask you. Oh, no, the other thing I love, this is the same spin I put on it, because I know some people are like the two different families. I actually love that you said it that way, because I feel like for me, it's just more people to love. Now I have more people in my life to love,
Right.
more people to get to know, and I don't think there's a bad thing with it. And I do love, I don't know if you know very much, but adoptions nowadays, they're shifting towards open. Like, and so they keep them
Hmm.
open. Obviously, it's easier when they're domestic versus international. It's a little harder, but I think it's so great. So what advice would you give to whether it's like a fellow adoptee maybe looking for their birth family, or parents looking to adopt? What advice would you give somebody?
Um. Yeah, someone probably looking to. Well, actually, backtrack. I'd say for adoptees like looking to find their birth parents, I would just say to have. I'm always the kind of person that I have very low expectations, but um high hopes, right? So always like expect the worst, the very worst that could possibly happen. Um, but you obviously being hopeful is super important with that experience, because you never know. I could have had a horrible experience, and you know that would have been just my reality, and that's fine. It's that happened to everybody. But um, I was also very yeah. I had very low expectations, but I was also like hopeful, and I tried my best to communicate well to them and let them know that I appreciated them and everything they did, and yeah, so that's probably my one piece of advice. And don't get so, I don't know, it's easier for me. I'm not a very um I'm a very sensitive person in terms of I do get emotional and stuff, but I tend to not get disappointed very often. Like I'm usually pretty okay. Like it's okay. We're alive. We're gonna be good. So that's my one advice. And then advice. What was the other question?
No, you're good. For like any adoptive parents, maybe something that your
Oh
parents
yeah,
did to like help you with your adoption or anything like that.
yeah. So my parents were always super open about it. It was always I always knew I was adopted. It was never like a secret. I think that's kind of weird if you keep it a secret. I mean, some people that's their thing, but it's going to be a big shock when your kid turns 20 and you're like, I'm adopted. That'd be really weird. Luckily, my parents were white, so I didn't have to worry about that. But I feel like when I met my birth mother, my parents were not like, I'm sure internally a little bit they felt like a little threatened, like, oh, who's this woman coming into my boy's life? But um I mean, we're always very open communicators, and they are super loving and embraced her, and vice versa. And so I would just say, like, just let your child who you adopted, like, let them do their thing. Don't try to hold them back, or don't be offended or sensitive about, because it's their journey. It's not, obviously you adopted this baby, and that's super awesome and it's a blessing, but I think it's important to let your kids do their thing and figure themselves out.
I love that. And I feel like that goes with just being a parent in general, whether, adopted or not. And I absolutely love
Yeah.
that. I love that. You nailed that on the head 100%. So no, seriously, anything else you want to share?
No, that's pretty much the whole story.
Okay, no, awesome. I will tag you. You guys, Mason is like crazy, like athletic gym stuff. So if you need any of that, go follow him. Like I was peeping on his page, and seriously, no, he's amazing. Didn't you just get certified, right? As I saw, did you just get certified in something?
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
just launched my personal training program, and just more for like people who are hitting plateaus or beginners. I personally I'm more of a competitive person. I compete in CrossFit, but yeah, I just want to help people out with their whole journey.
No, that's awesome. So if you guys need anybody, go follow Mason, go hit him up, go talk to him about it, because I'm all about taking care of yourself. So I think that's amazing and wonderful. But seriously, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to sit down and talk with me. I so appreciate it.
No, thank you. Yeah, this has been awesome. I've never actually talked about it like this, so
Well,
that's cool.
yay. Oh no, I'm excited. Yay that I was the first. So seriously, thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Milena.